Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. You have Nathan Vank with IronYun here, and the one and only James Stevens with Salient Systems here. And today we are so excited to tell you about how you can enable your camera system, your VMS system, your access control system with AI to make your campuses safer and more secure and a better learning environment for all those that attend. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before we start though, actually, I just lied to everybody. We like to just focus on these webinars. We like to just drill into it, and we're pretty brief. We just like to pack a lot in it. So feel free to ask any questions. At the end, we're going to have a Q&A session. And then, of course, if there's more questions that didn't get answered, we're happy to take calls later on today, this week, get with your teams and give you another deeper dive of our technologies. Okay, now for real, let's get into it. So the question we pose is, how do we make school campuses safe learning and living environments for the students that attend? And right now, what is the problem? Well, there's a few different categories that we would like to address. There's overall violence on campus that can be from weapons, unfortunately, that can be from fighting going on. That could also be from environmental hazards. You know, there's a lot of machinery there. There's a lot of equipment. There could be smoke and fires. These things do happen. Depending where the college is, there's bordering wildlife. There's also behavior concerns. People getting their bikes stolen. There's a whole slew of issues there. And then social health with temperature and local guidance. There's a whole assortment of problems that can easily be fixed in our opinion, and there's low cost ways to do so with your existing systems. The solution, shameless plug, is AI, and in particular, we believe Vaidio AI, but AI in general is what we're going to talk about today. And AI can enable these systems to have proactive alerts when these incidents occur. And to tell you about our AI, and then we'll get into some of these problem solvings. What is Vaidio? Vaidio AI. We have a platform. It works with all of your existing cameras. It works with your VMS, in particular, Salient VMS. There is a two-way integration where it simply lives inside of Salient. And all of these features, all of these solutions that we're talking about are just natively inside of Salient systems. And you could just access all the benefits right in there. Our platform, you can scale from 1 camera to 1,000 cameras. You could have it on edge. You could put it in a cloud. If you have remote sites, they could all tie together. We have real-time alerts. And when we say real-time, we mean less than 3 to 5 seconds, not minutes. These are very time-sensitive issues. And then we also have forensic capabilities. If something happens, you need to go in there just like Google and search through your video, find those incidences, pass it off to the correct personnel, and get moving. So we discussed some of those problems. Now, how can AI vision help solve these problems? Let's go through these categories. With AI vision, there is intrusion detection and access control. You can allow a virtual fence to be drawn. And this is a different technology than what was around, in the 80s with motion detection. Now you could draw a virtual fence, and if there is a person or a vehicle there, you won't get false alerts. You'll get a notification that somebody stepped foot in an area they shouldn't be in, and you could get that alert, that signal sent to the phones of those responsible for taking the next action. Health and safety, you could have a temperature detection, tag over 100 people per minute as they walk on by. Very quick, very unintrusive. It's just very easy to get rid of the physical touching that is needed on some of these campuses. AI also has the ability to detect weapons. Again, if you can see it, then AI can see it. So weapons are definitely at play here. If somebody pulls out a handgun or a rifle or a knife, you're going to get that alert instantly. You could trigger a lockdown from there. You could get eyes on it straight away and make the necessary calls to mitigate any risk there. Parking management. This is great as well, just for ease of coming in and out of the school. If somebody's supposed to be there, the AI can open up the gate for you and let them in. You could have this on your iPhone or your smartphone. You could be driving around in a golf cart. You could tag all of the vehicles that are there. If somebody's not supposed to be there that day or at all, they don't have a pass, or there's a reason why they shouldn't be on campus, right there on your phone, it could notify your VMS, notify all the other people that need to be notified to get that vehicle or to be on alert. Property protection is a huge one as well. If somebody, for example, gets their bike stolen, it's very simple just to search through all of your video, hundreds of cameras, and look for a red bicycle, blue bicycle, person with a backpack, and just drill down to those moments where that incident occurred, where they took the bike, and you can easily see across all of your cameras who that person is, where they went with that bicycle, and make the necessary steps to get that property back. Also, we've seen this many times where beautiful architecture is built, and then the very next day, people are drilling into the concrete and putting those metal blockers to stop skateboarders and other hooligans from tearing up that beautiful building. Right now, AI can just notify there's a skateboard there, and you don't need to damage your own property to prevent people from damaging your property. You could just have AI on it and take the actions straight away. Smoke and fire detection, down to somebody smoking a cigarette. This can be detected with AI. Forensic video search, I've touched on, but instead of manually going through that video, AI just makes it simple to find a needle in a needle stack, as we say. And then also fight detection. Yes, this is real. If a fight is breaking out, just as you and I can say, hey, looks like those people are about to fight, a fight is breaking out, the AI can call that out in real time, and you can make sure no one gets hurt. Okay. So how is Vaidio in particular able to do this? Our product has been around for nearly a decade, just over, and there is 99.9% reduction in false alerts. We have over 20 different categories of AI, over 130 different features. The power is GPU based. It's not just a little chip on a camera. And then the cost, it's less than 50% of the hardware and cloud requirements to run this. These are very dialed in. We've had some competitors we've pitched or gone against in competition, and our product requires less than 1/10 of the hardware needed to achieve the same feature. So great cost on software, great cost on hardware. Okay, and you don't have to take my word for it. Here are just a few testimonials. The IDC, out of hundreds of companies, has ranked us as a major player in the top 10 for Vision AI. The ISC West, which is world renowned as one of the top security conferences in the world, year over year, has awarded us, and we're very proud of that. Our partner, NVIDIA, has also left this comment letting them know that out of hundreds of startups they've worked with, this is one of the most mature platforms, and it's driving real world value. And also, here's just one reference from the military for developing a 360-degree anomaly detection system. So this is military grade AI that you could use to protect your campuses. Okay, so I'm about to turn this over to James, talk about Salient. This partnership is so great. Vaidio is focused on doing what's best for the customer. Salient is focused on what's doing best for the customer. That's why our partnership makes so much sense. But we do both push this open industry standard. So if you love Salient, but you're looking at different AIs, that's perfectly okay. Different AIs work with Salient. It's an open system. Our systems work perfectly together, but we like to push this idea of an open industry standard. We like to drive real world value together. And we're trying to change the idea that you have to be locked in this ecosystem, an all-in-one system. We like to do what we do best. Salient likes to do what they do best. We like to work with access control companies that do what they do best, and it provides the best product for the customer. So without further ado, I'm going to pass this over to James to talk about Salient.
Hey, Nathan, thanks for inviting us. And yeah, we're super excited as well. So pardon my noisy environment. We're at a convention today, and I'm trying to find the quietest place, but it's pretty busy. So pardon the background noise. But yeah, Nathan, thanks a lot for inviting us in. And yeah, we're excited to join with you guys as well. And don't let my background fool you. I'm in a cold, nicey Colorado environment behind me, but I thought this would be a lot better than people sliding across the ice. So yeah, without further ado, let me just kind of get into our portion of it. Yeah, Salient is an open architecture system and partners with multiple companies, including IronYun. We've been in business for 25 years. We are one of the few privately held VMS manufacturers left in the US. We're headquartered in Austin, Texas. Everything is there from development to tech support. And we do have additional facilities in other locations just in case Texas gets hit with another ice storm like they did last year. So really, you know, what sets Salient apart? Why would you consider Salient? For those of you that kind of know or have worked with Salient, you may understand this. For the new people that haven't seen it before, Salient is very, very easy to use, easy to deploy, easy to stand up. We have multiple deployments that are moving ahead faster than expected because they were able to train their staff. The way our system works is we use a system called dynamic resolution scaling. And really what that does is it scales the video at the server. So it's only sending out what's needed to populate the cell phone or the computer or whatever image size is needed. What that does is it takes a tremendous load off the IT infrastructure. Again, we are a complete open architecture platform. We do work with quite a few access control partners, AI programs, and other entities out there. One of the things that we do, and we do very, very well, is single platform transition, which means if you have an analog system out there, we don't use encoders or decoders. We send out a Gen 2 capture card. That Gen 2 capture card has dongles out the back and allowing you to connect those analog cameras to the system. We have one license kind of architecture that allows you to buy one license for those analog, which transitions to an IP when you transition the analog to IP. Nice part about that is it's a single button transition when you get ready to do that. So you just go on our site, hit a button, and it even keeps the camera in the same position. You don't have to redo that list. Really a very, very low cost of ownership compared to the industry. We have a couple different programs now. One is a subscription program that includes the SMA. So it allows easy planning for cost. Then we also have a once and done license structure. And then the only thing you would see moving forward would be the SMA cost to maintain the firmware updates and 24/7 tech support. And leading that leads us into our tech support. It is industry leading. There's really nobody out there that does what we do as far as supporting the customer after or post-sale. Very, very nice system. All right, Nathan. Software additions are very easy. We have a CV1, which is 32 cameras or less. It is a subscription model and does include the SMA. That's a real nice takeaway from it. Then we have two additional editions, a Pro, which is kind of our bread and butter. We do a lot of Pro license, and we do have that available in perpetual or subscription. Unlimited cameras, unlimited serving locations. And then we do have an enterprise level platform. And when I say enterprise, it truly is a scalable enterprise available to companies that have worldwide locations. As you can see here, some of the differences in it. Our largest enterprise customers run in excess of 50,000 cameras. So we can go from, one camera and up. We're very scalable. We don't have a limit on what we can do. So just a matter of making sure we put it together properly for you. So, what isn't Salient? Salient doesn't have a server license, no organizational or site license fees, no client application license fees. It's not tied to the camera MAC address, so you can move the license around through servers to different cameras, on and on. There's, again, we've been over this, but no cost to convert from analog to IP, and no need for expensive encoders or decoders. So it comes with the system, with our servers. So easy to stand up. So we have a couple different software license, and our newest one is subscription. It's a pay-as-you-go model. You only pay for what you use. If you only need it for a long time, if you have seasonal shops or locations, you can stand those up, use them, and when they drop off, you just don't renew them at the end of the next renewal period. Much lower initial costs if you're looking to replace an existing expensive system. A lot of times we can use the servers and just bring in the even a portion of the subscription license. 24/7, 365 day support included, and all firmware updates are included as well. And then our SMA overview. Our SMAs provide 24/7 support and all software updates. It's pretty cut and dry, very simple to understand. And we have 1, 3, and 5 year terms, and it's included on the One Pro and Enterprise level software offerings. There's no prorating SMAs. So new licensed cameras, and this is important in the issues. New camera licenses are grandfathered into existing agreements. So you pay for the maintenance on the new license at renewal term. So what that means, if you have a location and you're not sure what's going to look like over the year, and you need to add your additional camera offering out there, so you can do that. If you're adding additional cameras throughout the year, you don't have to pay as you go. You simply renew the entire system once a year. That makes it nice for some people that are either trying to migrate off of expensive or costly systems, or maybe the budget isn't there for this year, but it will be for next, and allows customers to move quickly and inexpensively. So, and we can also match the specific expiration dates for an extended rollout, say 2 to 5 year rollout. So that's a nice thing as well. We do offer a hardware subscription through Dell, and a hardware offering, excuse me, not a subscription, through Dell. We again have kind of an entry level, a mid level, and high performance units. These aren't off the shelf devices. They actually are flashed by us and really designed for video. So your guys aren't going to be playing solitaire. All that stuff's removed, all the fluff's removed, and it becomes a really solid performing unit for video. So
really
we do have guard station available, and we have companion to our power product servers. So if you're looking for guard stations, we can definitely talk that conversation, or have that conversation as well. All right, Nick. Salient pricing structure. I don't know that it gets a whole lot easier than this. So you have a license, either perpetual or subscription. They have an SMA to consider on top of that. And then if we're using your servers, that's the end of it. If you need a server, we can certainly provide those. And so really that's it. There's no extra gotchas or additional fees or something down the road that we have to pay for. Very, very simple pricing structure to consider. And
yes, absolutely, I agree.
Nathan, again, I apologize about the noise level and a lot of activity in front of me, but we're excited. And if anybody wants to see a full-on Salient demo or has questions that need to go further than this call, let me know. And I'd be happy to jump on a one-on-one demo anytime with anybody.
Absolutely. What we're going to show now, we're going to pass the screen over to Gael. She's going to bring up a slight demo. It's going to be lighthearted. We do want to talk through a very serious situation, an active shooter situation. It's a little too intense to have two real videos and whatnot. So we're going to show a demo and then kind of talk through it with some illustrations. Okay. So here we go. Here is the beautiful complete view by Salient. And if you can see here, behind the scenes is Vaidio AI vision. And it's analyzing these streams and it's sending in these alerts. So this is as graphic as it really gets here with these alerts. You can see that it's clearly identifying that there's a rifle. It's identifying that there is a handgun. It's generating these alerts in real time. They're popping up in the complete view. You could get eyes on the situation straight away. There's tons of alerting features in the complete view. Really easy to manage. If you have hundreds of cameras, it couldn't be simpler. So here's what this looks like. And then we want to talk through an active shooter situation here. So currently, if you talk to risk consultants, if you get the best practices in the nation right now, typically what you'll find, it's pretty universal that there's a lockdown situation. There's protocol behind a lockdown. And the way that that goes is, an incident occurs, and then somebody scrambles to play an intercom or play an alarm or to get the word out as quick as possible. And then the attention turns to the teachers and the staff to rush students into their room and to lock down those rooms right away to try to mitigate. But with AI, there's several layers of the onion that you could add into this protocol before that even occurs. And Gaia, would you mind bringing up some of those graphics? Or I could pass it over here if you would like. Okay.
Yeah, I just need to disconnect the share.
Okay. Okay. It's over here. Okay. So again, we're trying to make this lighthearted, a very serious situation, but just to get these illustrations across. So the layers of the onion before this, the current protocol we talked about, but imagine if you had a license plate reader on your existing cameras. They could be several years old. They could be not designed to be LPR cameras. Maybe they didn't cost $10,000. That's completely okay. With the power of deep learning and AI vision, you could turn that into a license plate reader. And maybe there's a disgruntled student or staff member, and you know what their vehicle looks like. You could get vehicle make and model. You could get license. And as that person is coming into the campus, you can see that that person is there. And then the correct personnel can look at that person and make a judgment call. Are they up to no good? Is there something else going on? Get a human in the loop to make necessary calls to do a lockdown if needed. You could also have facial recognition to decide, yes, that person, that member is on campus. Maybe you have AI set up to automate your attendance and to take the load off of staff already. Maybe somebody shouldn't be there and it just clocks it as, hey, there is somebody here that shouldn't be here. Take a look at it and make a judgment call from there. Okay. And then once you get eyes on them, you could see, hey, they have a duffel bag, they have a bag with them, they have something that they shouldn't, that could lead to no good. Make a judgment call there. So that's 3 times you can make a judgment call. Another one is a weapon is drawn. This is the 4th time you can make a judgment call. You can see that they clearly have a weapon. Do a lockdown. Get 911 involved straight away to mitigate these risk. And then you could also do a, well, I guess I didn't have it up, but you could have a weapon gunshot detection as well. There are sensors that we tie into, and with the AI, you have outdoor and indoor gun detection. If somebody fires a gun, 0 false alerts. It'll say for certain there is a weapon being shot. Initiate a lockdown. And that could be automatically locking doors, locking the premises. So that's quite a few layers in front of the current best practices that would just ensure that everyone is safe and secure. And I think everyone can make those steps and implement this. Even if you only implement one, that's a lot better than what the majority have now. So there are steps that we could take to have this complete system and to discourage people from going to your campus to cause no good. So with that, this is our demo. Of course, we didn't want to show all of that. So hopefully these illustrations were helpful. And now we want to turn this over to question and answers. I can see that there's quite a few, but Gael, if you would like to read some of those, and me and James can help you right now. And of course, we're always available after the call to do a deeper dive and a one-on-one with anybody as well. But please send in your questions, and we're happy to answer them.
Looks like we've already got a question answered, actually. Thanks, James.
Way ahead of you,
right.
James.
All right, if anybody has any questions, please either type them into the chat box or feel free to request to speak, and we will let anyone turn on their mic.
Hey, Nathan, while we're waiting on there, just a further caveat to the Salient system is that Salient is currently operating in a multitude of K through 12 as well as post-secondary universities. Some of the bigger names is Houston ISD in Texas, Granite School District in Utah. Both of those are the largest in the state, respectively. And then also we're fully operational at Notre Dame, UMass, University of Kentucky, multiple junior colleges and community college campuses. So we're well versed in the educational space. So I'm sure you guys are as well. But I wanted to throw that out there.
Awesome. Okay, Guy, maybe some questions will help spur more questions too.
Sure. Actually, I see a comment from Sean requesting licensing model, server requirements, and cost.
Okay. Yeah, we could go in deeper detail for both of our products. They're very straightforward. It's almost a la carte. You just pay for what you want. In the terms of Vaidio, we do have a 99-year perpetual license, and we are, we could talk more in depth. It might be a little too confusing to go over on this call, just spur of the moment, but let's sit down. It's pretty straightforward, and we can go into it.
All right. While we wait for more questions to come in, here's one that we can start off with. So in terms of latency time for alerts to come in, from the minute the incident happens to when Vaidio detects it and flags it as either weapon detection or whatever it is, to the moment it is received on the Salient VMS, what is that latency time that we're looking at?
Yeah, and this is important if you're evaluating AIs, is to see, it's very difficult to even forensically look for a weapon after the fact. And it's very difficult to do AI in near real time. So it's very important to ask these questions. If a weapon is there, is it just there for after the fact, hours later, I could look for it, which is helpful. But in terms of Vaidio AI, we do have real time. And when we mean real time, we mean 3 to 5 seconds. It's showing up in your Salient display and it's catching the attention of everyone it needs to. It's sending emails, it's sending phone notifications, all within just several seconds. So near real time is what we call it.
All right, thank you. Looks like we've got somebody who might want to talk. Let's see.
Yes.
Gherkin?
Gherkin, hello.
I've just allowed you. Yeah, I've just allowed you to speak. So as long as you turn on your mic, you should be able to speak directly.
Hello. Hello. Thank
Hello.
you. Hello. I think by mistake I lower my hand, but thanks again for asking me. So I don't have any question. I was just maybe by mistake.
Gherkin, it's still amazing to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining the webinar.
Yeah.
No problem. Thanks.
All right. Well, we still got time today. Let's see. I've got another question. So in terms of the number of analytics that can be run on a single camera, what are we looking at?
Oh, great. Yeah, this is a great question as well. So you can imagine every single thing that we offer, anything that we plan to offer, anything that you request us to build you, all of that can run on a single camera channel. So your front gate, if you want all of these analytics we discussed, you do not need to have dozens of cameras to pull this off. All of this can be ran on a single channel.
Perfect. And we've got a question from Peter. He would like to know, what is the pixel per foot requirement for accurate detection?
Okay, this is a fantastic question. So it depends what you're looking for. Different objects are different sizes. Our pixel detection is state of the art. A good rule of thumb is if you can see it clearly, then Vaidio can see it clearly. With this technology, if you have a clear image that you can see a license plate, you're most likely going to be able to pick it up. Previous technologies, there's different height requirements and angles and frame rates and lightings. There's a lot more leeway with deep learning. So the rule of thumb is if you can see it, it can see it and understand it and give you those alerts in real time or searching. So, but let us know. We do have best practices. If you're trying to push it to the extreme and you want to detect somebody at 400 feet, things like that, we can walk through that with you and walk through your hardware and show you what it's capable of.
All right, and then next question from Jim. Can your AI product make it easier to build a video for a user's path across several cameras?
Yes.
They are using Salient right now, by the way.
Oh, excellent. Absolutely. Yes. So there's, if you're looking for an event that happened, yes, we do have re-identification, however you want to refer to it, where you're tracking across cameras. That's no problem. We could do that. So if you see something of interest and you want to just see what they were doing or lock onto them, absolutely. Yes, we could do that forensically or in real time.
And
Great
next
question.
question is about payment. Is it per camera or is it per analytic?
Okay, James, would you like to go first? It's for James's side. I already know the answer. It's per camera, and then actually, is that straightforward? And then with ours, it's straightforward as well. It's per analytic. You get a bundle of features, an AI engine. It's good for one camera at a time, and yeah, just straightforward. Whatever you want, you pay for. You're not paying for stuff you don't want.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Nathan. So had a down. I was looking up where Jim was from. Jim's with one of our fantastic customers, Lano ISD. So Deborah's on the call, Jim. So I'm sure she'll reach out to you to help as well. But yes, it is per camera, per license. It's a lifetime license. Once you have it, you own it. It never goes away. So yeah, thank you, Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we've got another question from Sean. Is there a requirement for specific type and or model of camera, resolution, frames per second, etc.?
Again, it depends what you're trying to pull off. I mean, if you're doing one frame a second or something like that, it depends what you're trying to look for. But it's very lenient, and I'm sure you would be surprised with what you could pull off with, an old retrofit analog that's nearly 10 years old. You could get some state-of-the-art alerts. So, Sean, let's talk after. These are all great questions, and we'll take care of you. And we just went over the 30-minute mark. Are there any more questions?
Okay, we've got one question about integrations for gunshot detection.
Yes, there are quite a few that we have. We have sensors that, but if you have an existing system, we could work with that as well. That's the beauty of Salient and Vaidio pushing this open architecture. Our engineers on both teams are just so eager to work with anyone we can to make it a complete system for you. So if you have an existing sensor, we'd love to work with that, but we do have sensors as well. So we have indoor and outdoor with 0 false alerts.
Perfect. And next question, is it possible to set up a trigger action like voice down in hallways?
James, would you like to take this one?
There's a variety of things we can do, and a lot of times it depends on the cameras that you're using and the AI involved with that. But if not, we could probably work with Nathan and his team to find an option that would work for you there as well. But yes, it is being done in multiple locations for us.
And you can also supplement, also put in recordings as well. If you know what you're going to say when a certain particular incident is triggered, you can already have that recording just telling someone to scram and get out of there, and then bring a person, and then they could say some other choice words from there.
All right, if anybody else has questions, feel free to either use the chat or the question and answer section. I don't see any more questions at the moment.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's great. These are all fantastic questions. Thank you everyone for showing up today. Thank you for being so engaged. We appreciate all of you, and we will certainly be in touch, and stay tuned for the next focus webinar that we do. It will be a good one. So thank you everyone, and we hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and take care and be safe.